vortex. Just thought you should see that. You like that? Do you like this raw footage of cement mixers? Or concrete mixers, whatever the fuck. I don't want to get it wrong. Somebody in the vortex corrected me. They said it's a mixer. I said, okay. Noted. You know, I was thinking about how you really have to be like seemingly schizo in order to question things, really and truly, because everybody wants to believe in something. Like they just want to believe in some story of how the world is being operated and all that. And so I can understand like why people would say the things that they say about me. And that's why I'm like so upfront about the way I am, because I know that it's just going to be an accusation. You can't accuse a person of something that they've already admitted. I mean, you can try, but you just look like an idiot. So I got into an argument with somebody recently who was like, are you really schizophrenic? And this is something that's really annoying because, like, I don't think that most of society understands, like, that everything is a spectrum, not just autism. So, like, there's a spectrum of, like, all types of disorders. There's a spectrum of disease, you know? There's also a spectrum of the victim mentality. There's a spectrum of being a woman. There's a spectrum of like, oh, look at that car, thelonious. Feel better, because you're not as fucking dirty as that car. Okay? We have to do this every chance we get, okay? Because Thelonious is a really rugged car, considering that he was a luxury vehicle. And then I started driving him, and now he's very rugged. Anyway, we were talking about something so important. It was so important that I got distracted by a dirty ass car. See, there's no traffic today. There's been traffic for the past few days, but there's no traffic today. Okay. So yeah, with every type of anything, there's going to be different variations of it. Okay? So I am literally proving every single time that people try to argue with me that schizophrenia is the most stigmatized thing in the world. Because people want to argue with me about how I don't actually have it because I'm not this stereotype that they've been trained to believe by media. And because I'm like high functioning and I'm able to maintain, that's another thing. So like when I was a raging alcoholic, I couldn't maintain. And so I figured out that the best way for me to maintain was just not to drink at all. But there are variations of alcoholism, you know? You have people that are able to control it in certain settings. And then, you know, there are people that can just drink and drink and drink. I work with this guy who says he doesn't get sick because all he drinks is Miller Lite. And honestly, I think that's pretty cool. I wish that I was at that point. Okay, I guess there is traffic. Never mind. But like, there's a scale. You know, there's a scale. Go on, friend. Go on. Are you gonna do it? Oh, they gotta wait. They gotta wait for that person to go. Come on, motherfucker. I'm letting you do it. I'm letting you do it. I'm waiting for you, motherfucker. Okay. Okay. I wonder if it's a woman driving. Hold on, let's see. I'm gonna check. There's a woman. Holy shit. Holy shit, I was right once again in my stereotyping. That's a problem I do not have. I don't accidentally put on my turn signal, you know? I don't know how anybody does that. First of all, it makes a noise that's really annoying. But that's so woman to do that, though. Like, I'm gonna put my turn signal on for an extended period of time and not be going where I say I'm going. So woman. Anyway. Like I said, different variation of woman. She did it again. Did you just see that? I don't know, maybe she has some malfunctioning in her car or something and I don't know about it, and I'm just fucking ignorant. I think I just got honked at, and I don't know why the fuck I got honked at, because I'm just going in a straight line, buddy. I'm just going in a straight line. What else do you expect me to do? I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, so there's a scale with everything. And there are people that are going to be more high functioning, that are a lot more aware of what's going on. And so if you're a self-aware person, you're going to want to know about everything that ails you, because you're going to want to deal with it in the best possible way. That's why narcissists are the stupidest people, because, like, they have a disorder, and I do feel sorry for them because of this, by the way. They have a disorder that prevents them from inquiring about that. And I really do believe that narcissism is the problem every time. So other disorders that people have, the more narcissistic that they are, the less likely they are to be a decent person and, like, try to figure out the best way to deal with it. They're probably going to be a lot more likely to play the victim, expect everybody to cater to them. They're not going to try any harder to understand what's going on. And when the whole disorder revolves around that, yeah, I feel bad for them. But there are high-functioning narcissists, and they're probably in therapy. And they are working at improving whatever they got going on. Now, I do think that there are definitely people that are like, I've been to therapy and I do this and I do that, so I can bully you. And obviously they haven't been to enough therapy. Obviously they saw the wrong therapist. Because if you think you're superior to other people, you're wrong. Because, like, there's no such thing as superiority. I mean, there really isn't. I mean, you can be better than another person in certain regards because of the work that you've done, but if you keep in mind the fact that we're all on a different path and we all have different struggles and different life experience and opinions based off of those life experience, then yeah, like, you're going to be humbled by that information alone. But anyway, it is really frustrating, though, having people that don't know anything about a particular condition telling me, well, you don't really have that because of bullshit that I've believed all my life. Now, I empathize with that because they've been bombarded with that bullshit, you know? All these movies and TV shows have painted schizophrenics a certain way, but let me tell you, every good artist has it. They're doing the same thing right now with this Rob Reiner situation. I'm not going to speculate on that because I don't give a fuck what happens to celebrities. I just don't. I mean, I don't trust the official story anyway. I don't trust anything that they tell us. So this is yet another thing that they're using as some kind of distraction, and they're always trying to paint mentally ill people a certain way. But I guarantee you, schizophrenics are actually the least likely to hurt anybody. The only people that they want to hurt are people that try to force them to take medication, or people that insist that they vote, you know? Like, we're the most libertarian of all the mental illness. Like, we just want to be left alone. And the problem with the internet is, yeah, you got so many of these people that have just come out of the woodwork. And I see this a lot. Like, anytime that somebody puts something online that it seems really discombobulated and like people can't relate to it or they can't understand it, they just say, oh, the classic schizo post. You know, they don't know anything about it either. Yeah, because there are plenty of like high-functioning schizophrenics, just like there are plenty of high-functioning sociopaths, and there are plenty of high-functioning narcissists. Yeah, they all work in the media, or they're doctors, or they're teachers, okay? Think about all the fields where you can be validated by the largest number of people. I would say that, yeah, those people are probably more likely to have a cluster B personality type. Borderline personalities are a lot more low-functioning. But they're also a lot more likely to be artists. So a high-functioning borderline is probably going to be an artist. Think Fiona Apple. So yeah, like your greatest artists are probably going to be more on the schizophrenia spectrum. And all the people that are more cluster B, they're going to be running everything. So just think about that. Think about that. All the people that you pay, all the people that you trust, all the people that run the institutions, they all have a cluster B personality type. Isn't that comforting? So in that personality cluster, you got antisocial, which couldn't be further from the truth because they need society, okay? So just the title alone is misleading. Antisocial, borderline, narcissist, and histrionic. So yeah, all those personality disorders are dramatic. They're all narcissistic. They all need society for something. So they all have really dramatic relationships. But yes, the people in this little cluster that are a lot more aware, I mean, they can definitely use that awareness to their advantage and hurt other people. But yeah, I would say that they're very successful in this world because this world is naturally narcissistic. This world is naturally histrionic. This world is naturally sociopathic. And it's definitely on the borderline of psychosis. Or it's just full-blown psychotic. One of the two. But yeah, schizophrenia, the reason why it's so stigmatized is because it doesn't go along with the world. It's split. So when you have a split mind, you're not as likely to be entranced by the left-right paradigm. You're not so likely to be entranced by some bullshit that you see in an advertisement. You're not just gonna blindly trust the authorities and the lies that your teachers are telling you, or the lies that your parents are telling you. You're gonna be more likely to question your parents. You're gonna be a lot more likely to question your teachers. You're gonna be a lot more likely to not want to take the stuff that you're told to take by some fucking doctor or nurse. Okay? So yeah, that's why it's stigmatized. And they're very high functioning cluster A's. Like schizoid personalities are probably the most high functioning of cluster A. But they're extremely antisocial. I would say that schizoids are 1,000 times more antisocial than antisocial personalities. Because they don't desire relationships, they don't desire sex. They might need it sometimes, but it's not something that they readily seek. That shitty parking job again. Okay, we're trying harder. We really are. Yay. I know I need to take a shower. I know. Rule of thumb though. Less common rule of thumb. If you could hold down a job, you're high functioning. With me, my biggest problem is like tasks. Like it is hard for me to accomplish tasks, especially if it involves cleaning. But there's a lot of stuff that does motivate me quite a bit. And you know, I mean, I believe I've shown you guys my posters, but I don't think I showed you the giant stack of them. I mean, what you could probably tell just by how many videos I have on YouTube that I'm willing to put forth a lot of effort just because I'm not putting forth effort in a worldly fashion, and I don't have a bunch of money to show for it and popularity. I mean, what I'm saying isn't popular, so I don't expect people to want it. People can say they like me all they want, but if they watch 5 more videos, they probably won't. So, anyway. So I would highly advise people to like study personality types. And you might see yourself in that, but you're definitely going to see other people. And this isn't for the purpose of judging everybody and putting them all in boxes and shit like that. This is for the purpose of survival, okay? Because if you live in a world that's run by cluster B, I would highly suggest that you read up on that. Cluster A's you don't need to worry about. Cluster C's you don't need to worry about. Cluster C's, the high functioning really high functioning are probably going to be people with OCPD. That's my father. Obsessive compulsive personality disorder. They're obsessed with cleanliness, obsessed with order, obsessed with following the rules, all that. And they're very narcissistic. So yeah, I think that narcissism is sort of interwoven with everything. But the more aware that you are of that, the less likely you're going to be okay with that. Because as right as I am about stuff, and people tell me this all the time, so this isn't just my own voices telling me this shit, okay? It's like, the reason why I'm able to see things the way that I do is because of God, and I have this understanding because I have the virtue to understand. And, you know, a lot of people don't have that, and they're not anywhere near as capable of having compassion on people, because they're not trying to understand, like, where those people are coming from. And that's really why, like, that's why our world is so screwy. If we tried a little harder to understand, like, why a person thinks the way they do and feels the way that they do. I mean, that's why I don't react. I don't react to anything. I internalize. But it's like, there's no point in reacting, because, like, nothing's going to be accomplished by that. But also, like, these people are just fucked up. Psychologically, mentally, emotionally, they're fucked up. Because they'll never address why. Most people are ticking time bomb. It's just waiting. I've said this before, it's just waiting to detonate. This shit happened last night with this narcissist I work with. She detonated last night. It's so fucking annoying. But, you know, it's just the kind of shit you have to put up with. And she doesn't want to see a therapist. She just expects everybody around her to change. And she's the one that needs to change. But it's very typical, isn't it, in this world? I'm gonna go. Like I said, read up on that stuff. You won't regret it.